Hey, good day. Sorry I haven't been posting for a while. I was playing Wytch Borg and using Fantasy Grounds as a VTT, virtual tabletop, to play the game, but it wasn't really working out, and I really like my system a lot better. It's more tactile, it's more hands on, and gives me a chance to play around with the things that I've made myself, like my own cards for decision making, event planning, and how combat goes. Uh, um, and another thing I've done, I probably introduced my characters from the last episode. So I've made these little standees with my 3D printer, and I made these uh, the standees just with Photoshop and then laminating them to just make them a little sturdier. And so so far, the story was that I had this character. Um, his name was Jedediah, and he befriended another old man named Brownwell, and they were both uh, they both deserted from the war. Yeah, this is set in the 1600s during the English Civil War, and yeah, they were deserters and they were caught and imprisoned, and they were released and with the um, with the task to travel and find this mad general who found this book, this ancient evil book that will raise the dead. So we've been traveling through the marshes, and we encountered a witch in her hovel, and then we went through a graveyard and encountered some zombies. Now we found a campsite of other deserters, but they were from the opposing um, army. There was like just one deserter there at the camp so far. The camp will stretch out further than this map. This is what I use these tokens for to when I enter a zone. Here, this is the deserters camp. When I enter this zone, it's going to take me. I have to travel to the edge here, and that'll take off one of these markers, and that'll mean that I have four more parts of the map to go through before I can leave this zone and travel to the next zone. Just a little rule that I made up, and yeah, so I'll play through a scene and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm on round two, scene three, and act one of my game. And as I play, I'm drawing from this event deck. And the first card I draw is a location interaction. And then I roll a, a positive negative dice. The positive means that the that card is activated. Negative, and then the chaos track will progress. And but if it's negative, then the card isn't activated, and the chaos track goes down. If it's blank, it's not activated, but it doesn't change the chaos track. The chaos track, I've probably explained this before, but if you're new to this channel, um, I'll be explaining how I play, how my method of solo role playing goes. The chaos track represents how many cards are in my event deck, along with the characters that are in the scene, or yeah, in the scene at the moment. So location interaction, and I roll. It's blank, so the chaos track doesn't move. And I get to the next card, and it's the enemy. But right now, this soldier, deserter, he's being pretty polite to us, and he's going to lead us through the camp. He doesn't know that we are from the English side during the Civil War. So it's his turn. Then I use these dice. Green means an automatic action. Yellow is it would need to be the action would need to be triggered by that roll with a positive negative, and the red is the opposition, what they do in that turn. So I roll these. So an explosion means that character can perform a special ability, and my character. So that yeah, it's the enemy's turn. So the enemy can perform their special ability. Then the last character that I played, which was Bromwell, he can perform a special ability. And then this special ability for the enemy needs to be triggered. And the enemy's special ability is he's just fast, so he moves twice. So I use 6-sided die for each movement. So we can move 10. And I made a chart for how they do their movements, and I just roll. And he's going to go forward 10. So and then we'll see if Bromwell can perform a special ability. And his special ability is foraging, and he doesn't find anything. And we'll see if the enemy can move twice again. Yep, chaos track goes up 1. And he can move 6 spaces, so, and we'll see what direction he's going. Forward. And he's right off. He's going to be into the next part of the map, so I'll just leave him there. For now, he's right there. And the next card. And it's player 1, that's Jedediah. And he can perform an action. The enemy can perform an action. And there might be a chance that I can do a special ability. So, as the main character, the first action is anything that I want. I decide. So yeah, I'm just going to try to catch up with the that soldier. But I can only move 3. And I've been using the kind of stole this idea from BattleTech by putting little dice beside the characters and arranging it to the number of spaces that they've moved. So that will, like, because if the highest, that means that character was running, and that it'll improve its defense, but it will also hinder its attack. So I would 3, if I was being attacked and I moved 3 spaces, then that character who was attacking me would lose 3, or I would add 3 to my defense dice. So then we'll see if the character can move again, but he's like off the board, so I'm not going to even bother. And we'll see if I can do special ability. No. Next card in the event deck is healing. And yeah, one that'd be my character heals. I just increase my health to 6. And next card, location interaction. Nothing. And I've drawn a card of reference rules, and that'll, if this is activated, then I just look at something in the module or in the rules that could influence the game. And nope, nothing. Next card. And it's a shuffle. So that's another rule that I have. Every card that I draw and that is used is once that deck is depleted, then the game is over. And I don't want to do that. So I need to draw these shuffle cards and hope that they get activated. And that way they can get replenished into their decks. And nope, that didn't work. Next card. Bad weather. Nope. Weather's still pretty good. I have this weather die that I roll for after every scene to see if the weather changes or the time of day changes. Next card, and it's NPC 1. That's Bromwell. It's his turn. And he can perform. He performs his special ability, and he has a chance that he can move, and then the enemy can perform their special ability, which is this double move. So he's off the edge anyway, so that doesn't really matter. For special ability, he has to do a skill check, and he's level 1. So I put one dice for that represents his level, and then I look at the chaos track and it's 6, so I put six white dice in. And if I rolled 6s, then he would be able to perform his special ability. But ones negate 6s and ones are failures. He didn't roll any 6s, and so he can't do his special ability. The reason why I use a different colored dice that represents his level, if that was a success, then he would gain a fate coin. And when I collect these fate coins after successful skill checks using my level, I can use these. Like 10 fate coins will improve a stat for that character, either increase the health or his attack dice or his defense dice or his level, or whatever I see fit. So roll to see if he can move again. No. And so I played through all the cards from the event deck, and I move into a new round. So now I'm in round 3, and I increase the cards. And I roll to see if the plot progresses. No. So the chaos track is at 5. So I'm going to add 5 event cards to the event deck. Shuffle them, and then I'm ready for the next round. So I played through a couple more rounds, and now I only have to hit one more objective to make it to the next part of the map. And since this is a pre-written module, and just to keep things like a surprise to me. I haven't. I'm just skimming through the module as I go, and for my direction, I'm following a path. So I'm going to just see where the path takes me. So when I leave this area, I'm just going to roll to for a random direction where this path is leading. But I'm trying to get to the tower, and that's my main objective. Is to get to the tower and defeat the general and retrieve the unholy book that he's been holding. And yeah, I've moved my play area around a lot. The biggest thing like about solo role playing for me is that is to just maximize on space, make the most of what I got, and but also like to allow enough space to for my map. For a while there, I was my map was pretty small, but I want to get more out of it. So move things. I gotta travel a little bit more, but I'll just show you what I've got. I made up a screen with some tables that I use the most. Like my movement table, combat rules, and these are the decks that I use for random situations that happen, events. I draw from here. For characters in combat, I draw from here. These will either hinder or benefit the attacker. These are action moves, so if I ever like roll like an action die for an NPC or the enemy, and then I draw this, the playing character decides what they're gonna do. These are the character mats. I made these little character cards, so that's Jedediah. He's my main character, and there's Bromwell. He's the NPC. Um, the enemies right now that I'm dealing with are a couple of deserters in their camp, but they're not flat out enemies right now. But they've been following us, leading us through the camp. But we haven't told them that we were looking for the general. We don't know what side they're on. Or actually, no, they're on. Yeah, we do know they're on the French side, so they're our enemy. So, yeah, these are the characters. So that represents the level, and yeah, the green dice represents the character's level. Not sure what this orange die represents whose turn it was last. I think these just represent. I forget why I put these there. I think they're just like add-ons to my level roll. Like if I do a skill check, I'm gonna add like one die and two die for. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I did. That's my character's health line. The attack dice that I use. So this character would use two dice for attacks. These cubes represent ammo. So my characters are carrying around muskets. Every time I fire in a ranged attack, I move one of these out. This is the defense. So I use two dice to defend. And these markers represent orange represents a bonus to the attack, and blue represents a bonus to the defense. That's the enemy side, basically the same thing. This is the round. Well, the whole game is represented by here. Like, so the game is represented, is broken down to rounds, scenes, and acts. So every 6 rounds that I played, like a round is when every character has played, and this deck, this is the round deck. Once this is empty, that's I move on to the next round. So when it gets past 6, then the scene increases. And when the scene increases, I check the time of day and the weather, and I roll to see if the this big die represents the plot. So once the plot increases to 6, then either judging by the chaos track, if I'm in the positive, then something good is going to happen. If it's negative, then something bad is going to happen, and I keep it here. So if when I get to the 6th move, when I get to the 6th position of the plot die, then I can either move to the next part of the map or face an encounter, depending on how where the chaos track is at. Okay, and but this will automatically move when a scene increases. So when the scene gets to 6, then the act moves to 2. When the act gets to 6, then the game is over. This is the action for every character. When a character is played, I roll all these dice. Green represents an action that automatically happens. Red is for the last opposing character for their potential action. And that's for a second potential action for the character in play. And that's decided by a roll of a positive and negative die, which will influence the chaos track. Here, so yeah, when I have a combat scene, I use these dice, and so I would roll. So the attacker, like a red skull means a hit. A blue shield is a miss for the attacker's roll. For the defender's roll, then say that would the attacker got a hit in, but I rolled the defender rolled and got 1 shield, so he blocks that, and so the attack misses. This represents surges and resources. I can spend 3 resources to gain a surge. This is the enemy surge. Enemies get surges automatically if they gain it. But yeah, the player character can spend that resources to buy surges, and NPCs collect resources through the game. This is a map. So I've made up this new rule. This is the first game I've been using it for. So every movement that I make, I put a small blue die, and that means that this character has moved 4 spaces, and that will like he'll have a -4 to his attack and a +4 to his defense. I put a small dice beside it because that was the last character played in that round, in round 5. This die will mean colored small die would mean that character is now in play. And I'll play another round and close off the video with this. Okay, so I'm playing round 6, scene 5, act 1. And the first card drawn is my main character, Jedediah. His actions will be, yeah, he's going to move towards the objective. So roll 1d6, 4. 1. So I made, yeah, I didn't make it clear in the other part of the video that this movement die It's not that doesn't actually subtract or add to the attack or defense. I look at that number and I relate it to another chart. So 4 would be a -1 attack die and +1 defense die. Roll a 6 or above is +2 to the attack dice, and or -2 to the attack dice and +2 to the defense dice. I know it's complicated, but it really works out and adds a little bit to the strategy of the game. So the second part of the round is the potential for the enemy to make an action, but they can't. It's not activated. And I could gain a resource if this is activated, and it is. Chaos track goes up 1. And instead of gaining a resource, I'm going to spend some resources. I spend 3 or 2 resources equals 1 search. So now I have 2 surges to use and for to benefit an attack or a skill check. So the next card drawn is a possible new characters added to the game. See if this card is activated. No, but and it's a negative, so the chaos track goes down 1. Next card is Bromwell's turn. So he's the last character to be played. And Bromwell's over here. What's Bromwell gonna do? Bromwell gains a resource. Can the last enemy played perform an action? Nope. Chaos track goes down 1. Can Bromwell make another move? No. Next card drawn is reference rules. And it's positive. Chaos track goes up 1, and I just look at the so I have a laptop here and it has the module. So I'm just going to look at the module for something. So for the deserter camp, the reading says that scrubby forest clears and the PCs hear the unmistakable sounds of drunken singing, angry shouting, and the occasional crack of a pistol fired into the air. So I look at that, and since I'm in the negative, then does that mean that one of the enemies has a gun? Yes. How many shots does it have? 6. And what enemy was it? It was enemy 1. So I'm going to add 6 of these cubes that will act as the ammunition next to the attack dice area of the enemy's enemy spot there. So now they can make range attacks on us if things get hairy. So can Bromwell perform another action? Yes. Chaos track goes up 1. Now I'm in the positive. And the action that Bromwell's going to perform is a move or attack. But I'm not in a bad situation with the enemies yet, so I'm just going to move. So I rolled. The character moves towards the nearest cover and gains 1 defense. So he's going to move around this tent here. 2. And he's now the last character to be played. And his defense goes up by 1. Next card drawn is one of the deserters, deserter number 1. That's this guy. It's his turn. He can perform a special ability, and his special ability is to move twice. So, I look at his level. He's level 3, so I add 3 red die. And the chaos track is at 6, so I add six white dice. So if he rolls a 6 on a red, then the chaos track will go up. But if he rolls a 1 on the red, then it negates the 6s. If he rolls any 6s at all with any of these dice, then he can do his special ability, which is move twice. And I didn't roll any 1s or any 6s, so he's not able to perform his special ability, but the chaos track doesn't change at all. Can the last character played do a special ability? And the last character was Bromwell. No. Can the enemy 1 do another action? No. Next card drawn is a possible event. Is this card triggered? No. Next card, enemy 2. So he becomes last character played. It's enemy 2's turn. What's he going to do? So he gains a surge. And can the last character played do an action? Nope. Can he gain another surge? No. Next card drawn is a possible event. Yes. So I draw an event card. And these are Game Master Assistant cards. And I just look at they'll have like some words here that could trigger, that could inspire a situation. And since the chaos track's in a positive, I'm looking for something positive that could benefit my characters. I'm going to say there's serve in here, so I'm going to say that one of the enemies is going to serve the NPC like a resource. And does that happen? Yes. So I gain another resource. And draw another card. And this is the last card for the round, and it's a possible surge. Since I'm in the positive on the chaos track, the surge will benefit the playing characters. Is this card activated? No. So the chaos track is at 6. The round goes to round 1 for scene 6. And does the plot progress? Yes, plot progresses to 5. Chaos track is now at 7. So I'm going to add 7 cards to the round deck. for my next scene. And that's the end of this round. And put this video together and maybe do another video next weekend. Thanks a lot for watching.